Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to yet another beautiful Indian summer day of topic time, because we are officially in fall, but the weather doesn't seem like it. It's very mild and warm out there. My type of weather that we're having right now. And another great show tonight. Before we get to the awesome guest I have, I've got to read those awesome underwriters first. So we got Modern Auto Body in Brockton. We got Shovel Shop Spirits right here in Easton. We got Lifestyle Vape in East Bridgewater. We got Mrs. Swift's and More Antique Store in East Bridgewater, where they are getting ready for their 12th annual Historic Ghost Tour. And advance tickets are $20 each there at the store. We got John's Greenhouses and Florist Shop in Brockton. We got Big Lee's Automotive in Abington. We got CNC Redding Farm in West Bridgewater, where they got corn mazes and attractions, twin cow train rides, hay wagon grain train rides, and pumpkin picking. We got Sweezy Fence Erectors in Whitman and Norn. And we got T. Martini and Son Floor Covering in Abington. And we got Chapin Sheds in Whitman. And I want to thank you guys very much. Now we will start the show officially. And here we go. There you go. And there we are. Good afternoon again, everyone, and welcome to Topic Time with Harrison Young. The musical guests, I should say, are just incredible of late. I got a gentleman right here. This is Ralph Rotundo. He's got quite a story to tell, and he's also got a big axe with him. And he was starting to pick it when we were starting the show, or just before we started, as we are starting now, and he sounds amazing. He's going to play some original tunes tonight. We're going to find out about him as well. He's got, like I said, quite a story to tell. Excuse me. But Ralph, first of all, I just want to thank you for appearing with me on Topic Time tonight.
Well, thanks for having me. It's great to hear all your guests supporting the show, all your hosts.
Oh,
your
underwriters.
Underwriters.
Everybody supports the show, regardless, left and right, north, south, east, west, up and down, back and forth. So, all right, well, so you are addicted. I can tell you're anxious to get started with some music. So you know what? Why don't you had a story to tell, basically about your inspiration of music, about how your life is sort of seesawed up and down.
Well, a little bit, yeah. I guess.
So go ahead.
I was basically a musician, kind of nerd type kid, and played a lot of music as a kid.
Okay, so quick question. As a kid, where did you grow up and play music?
I started playing music in the Weymouth Public School Systems. Fourth grade, Pratt Elementary School, I played the tuba.
Cool.
And it was, I remember being inspired that morning before they showed us the instruments by a Cocoa Puffs commercial. And I saw the tuba blowing chocolate everywhere.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
And then that day we saw the tuba there, and I said, that's for me. So I started playing the tuba. And then a few years later, junior high, wanted to play Black Sabbath and didn't quite sound right on the tuba, so I picked up a guitar.
I would love to hear what Black Sabbath sounds like on the tuba.
I used to think I was going to be the first heavy metal tuba player, and I'd have a tuba and have it shoot flames and smash it up. And
hey, listen,
never quite there.
There's never a time like the future if the present doesn't work, which means that maybe at some point you can try it. But right now you got this, and this works great. But
right,
okay, so, but that's quite an aspiration. Well, obviously, you thrive on your originality when it comes to music. And
when I went to school at the University of Lowell, I had heard about this instrument I have right here.
University of Lowell, you mean?
University of Lowell. It's now UMass Lowell, but when I went
okay. I've been to the campus. It's a great campus.
Yes.
Great neighborhood.
My stepdaughter just graduated from there too.
Okay.
But I was there in the 80s with a lot of friends that are in my life and returning to my life now.
Okay.
But the interesting thing that I discovered there was the Greek neighborhood, and specifically a gentleman that played a 7-string Greek instrument called the oud, or the bouzouki, one of the Greek instruments. And the gentleman was also a great Berkeley attendee in the 70s and went to New York City, and he played the 7-string guitar.
Wow.
And I said, wow, that's for me, because the 7-string guitar is like a guitar and a tuba mixed together. So.
Okay, that's what you have tonight, a 7-string guitar.
Yes. Yep.
Quick question about a 7-string guitar. Is it different than most? Does it have one? Is that you said it had one more string than a normal acoustic guitar.
Yes, and you play it physically. You play it like a classical guitar.
Because that extra string is, you get a bass sound from with it, even though it's not a
Right.
bass guitar.
And in order to play it, you don't. You can use a pick on it, and I do when I play regular guitar stuff. But to really get what the 7-string guitar has to offer, you play physically a classical style where you're playing bass and the
Okay.
guitar. So it's almost like the two hands of the piano, and the instrument was actually originally called the lap piano because you could play the chords of a piano. It was invented in 1929 by a gentleman named George Van Epps, who was George.
I've heard of him.
Yeah, he was George Gershwin's guitarist.
Okay, 90 years ago. 90 years ago.
Yeah, I played for him when he was 94 years old.
Wow.
Over the telephone, and I had transcribed.
Is he still with us?
He died. I was supposed to send him a recording of my stuff, and he was going to write me a review, but he had passed before.
Just a quick question.
That could
How old did he live to be, too?
I think he was in his early 90s.
Early 90s, okay. All right, wow, that's pretty good.
But he played for George Gershwin, and
Wow.
and George Gershwin was actually his father's accompanist at the turn of the century.
Well, when you say the turn of the century, now we have to go back to the...
1800s to 1900s,
Right.
yes.
Because we've already passed the turn of this new century.
Yes.
Crazy, the years go by. Well, I mean, obviously the high rent district, the Gershwin, I mean, that's pretty big stuff.
Yes, and high, certainly high standards of, So I mean,
Performance.
I'm just trying to hang on. As I continue my story, you'll see that I took the mathematical stuff as music theory and stuff, and the abstract thinking, and fashioned it into got into the computer technology, a lot of IT in my family. And I eventually, when I became a husband and a stepfather and a homeowner, I became an IT guy, and I left music totally,
Okay.
and was a software engineer for a dozen years.
Just a quick question. Why did you switch to being why did you go from music that you love so much to being a software engineer?
Well, in 2 years, I doubled my income 4 times.
I understand, okay. All right. That
So,
makes sense.
and it's a similar, type of thinking.
Okay.
Software.
Well, it felt right
instructions.
at the time, and so that's why you did it, and it paid good.
Yeah,
Okay.
and then I went through a bit of an ordeal.
Okay.
That when I bought my house,
Yep.
I became an innocent victim of something that we're really not going to get into in any detail here, but I was wrongfully imprisoned. I was charged with crimes, and years later, not guilty on everything. Other charges were completely dropped, and I have one remaining misdemeanor that is under appeal, and I have every confidence that I will. It was basically my information and data and truth from the GPS work that gave me the courage to stand up for my property rights. It was like truth in music and harmony. If you play a wrong note in music, everybody knows right away when somebody does something wrong with property or possessions of the law.
Right.
It's easier to hide.
Okay.
But anyways, I was kind of almost naively thinking like a musician that the truth would matter, but it didn't. But the damage was done.
Yeah.
Years of having the inability to pass a government background check and work in the IT field, 15 months to 2 years is an eternity because technology changes so quickly. And it's almost like the only thing I had left that I could do was my original music again.
Right.
And
Well, I always say everything happens for a reason, and as awful as what your ordeal was, I think that the way you've turned it around, that was a sign from divine providence for you to do so.
And that's basically the blessing in it, as I'm once again doing what I love to do.
And you're teaching too.
And I'm teaching a lot. I'm playing a lot, and right now, it's almost like the second time around, and I find I have much more gratitude and humility for what I'm doing, and I love teaching even more. And even I was a real specialist and an expert in a specific. And now I'm playing every kind of music. I have several guitars on the stage when I work, and I work in just for the entertainment industry and just trying to please the demands of that and so many other things, and learning so many different kinds of music, and Just using my hard-earned skills of my youth to do a wide variety of things and to share and teach. And so it's almost like music came to me when I was in my youth and made a big difference. And now that I'm older, it's come back to me, and I'm now happy, maybe not making as much money as I did as a software engineer, but I'm certainly happier, and
Okay.
So.
Well, you've obviously got, you can obviously do whatever you want. You're in that situation. You're in the driver's seat. And at some point, you may, decide to do other things. At this point, you love your music. So that having been said, to put it in a nutshell, put your money where your mouth is and play something for us. What do you think?
You got
You
it.
can name a tune, say it's original or cover or whatever, but then we can then have at it.
Well, I haven't played since last night.
Well, it's last night. I think you probably remember how.
And so.
Where did you play last night?
I played at a restaurant up in the North Shore with a group where I had.
You remember the restaurant? You remember this town or city?
Yes, the restaurant is the Cafe Escadrille in Burlington.
In Burlington.
I
That
played-
is a right smart restaurant.
It's a great restaurant.
It is.
It was there when I was in college, in my 20s.
I remember when they opened in 1970, 40 years ago, I think.
Yeah, they just had their 45th anniversary.
45 years, okay.
Yep.
I've never eaten there, but I've heard some great things about it. And Burlington is a sweet area.
It's a great restaurant, very challenging to play for all the customers and the different times of dinner music or dance music or people at the bar, and they do a great job there, and there's some great people there. But I'll play some other places too. But
There's where you were last night, so we give them a shout out. That's awesome.
all right, yeah, that's and so local place I'll be playing. I play the first weekend of every month is Venezia in Neponset.
Okay.
That's a little closer to
Near
the
the
folks
gas
there.
tanks, Morrissey Boulevard?
Yes,
Morrissey Boulevard.
other side of the river, Neponset.
Okay.
North Quincy. So I'm just going to warm up with a
Even your warm-ups sound awesome, so go
blues
for
tune.
it.
This is a jazz tune from the Art Blakey and the Jazz Messengers. It was originally a riff that they used to just play when they were going on break, and it eventually became a tune. It's by the pianist for the Jazz Messengers named Bobby Timmons, and the name of the tune is Moanin'. So it's like a gospel with blues. So it starts.
was awesome. Good job. Jeez. You are a talent and a half, my friend. To
Well,
say the
thank
least.
you. Thanks. You never know what's going to happen, so we'll see.
Do you sing at all?
Mostly just background stuff. Mostly, when I'm working, I have to accompany people who are real good singers, and other than that,
So you got a good baritone type voice.
yes, yeah. But I'm mainly an instrumentalist when I'm working as a 7-string.
Okay.
But like I said, I've been doing so many different kinds of music and having to sing so much more. Who knows? In the future, I may be singing, but not today.
Okay. You're not even singing any today. All right. Well, you want to do another number? It's up to you. If you want to talk some more, it's up
Yeah,
to
I
you.
guess I can play. I'll play some kind of. I'll do.
Play something sweet and soulful.
Yeah, I'll do Body and Soul.
There you go. Body and soul. Very nice. Oh, yeah, it was definitely the kind of song that people trying to just chill on the end of a day would love to hear.
Yeah,
End of
yeah.
a long day,
A lot
long
of
work
different
day.
kinds of songs to play, and yeah, people that have the knack to read a crowd and know what song to play. Out of the hundreds and hundreds there are, it's
Tell me
it's
about
art in
a
itself.
couple of things. I want to know where you've taught, where you've performed,
Mhm.
and now you mentioned you're going to be performing on the good old WATD pretty soon. You're going to be on
No,
Almost Famous.
that's another thing. That's a talk show about the non-musical, the issues and the political.
Oh, okay, I understand. That's got nothing to do. All right.
Yeah.
Well, so tell me about where you've taught, where you teach now,
Mhm.
and where you've performed. Like, I mean, you just give me some ideas of the. I mean,
Well,
you've
but
already
to-
mentioned a couple of nice restaurants you performed at.
Yeah,
But
well, it's
all
like
right.
I said, I've only been back at it a few years, and
Right.
I'm mostly working from friends from my past, people in my life. My first 25 years as a professional musician, returning to my life and also meeting new people again, and just growing. It's like I'm starting new. Just the last year and a half, 2 years, teaching and playing. So it's like I'm a time capsule.
Okay.
All my equipment is old and everything's old. Like I was 15-something years off, and now I'm back, kind of thing. And
Back and better than ever.
Hopefully working on it. Some things better, some things, still lots of practice. It's work. It's always work to keep the skills
So what do you
up.
teach now?
Right now I teach Stoughton Music Center, the next town north, right up north.
It is.
Yeah, I was one of their first teachers when they opened up in 1988, right out of college. And
Okay,
now,
what was the school?
Stoughton Music Center.
Okay, Stoughton, and so they're right on 138, or they were.
Yes, they're
Are
right
they-
there on Washington Street, 138. Yeah.
Are they still there now?
Yes,
They are,
Yes,
okay.
I'll be there tomorrow. Yep.
Cool, okay, you're still there all these years, 31 years later.
Well,
Well, I know off and on, but you're back there.
I was their first, and now I'm their newest.
Right, okay.
Guitar teacher.
Wow.
And, so that's a little deja vu. My friend, meeting new people old friends there, and I'm also teaching at the Middle Street School of Music in Plymouth Center, where my friends, longtime friends, own that, Pat and Paul.
Okay.
And I'm teaching there a day, and starting to do the old, just private lessons in people's homes, and.
Do you have a studio where people can come to you?
I did over the years, and I've decided, well, with the ordeal with my property and stuff.
Yeah, I understand, I know.
I can't put my eggs in that basket, so now I'm giving private lessons in people's homes, along with teaching at the facilities I told you about, and
Yeah.
and who knows what's down the road. But I've taught many different art centers. I used to teach at the Hanscom Air Force Base. I taught there during Desert Storm.
Hanscom Air Force Base.
And I taught on the base. I taught, when I lived in the North Shore, I taught in Lexington and Lincoln after-school music program, Reading. I worked for the Indian Hill Arts Center, where I taught at the Groton School and the Lawrence Academy and the Westford Academy. And,
Wow, it's like you're naming school, the days, it's like you're naming a snow day when all the schools would get off, and you've taught at them.
Yeah, I've taught in Wellesley. I've taught in.
Wow.
I've taught it. I was the guitar teacher at the Music Machine here on Depot Street in Easton.
Right in
before.
Easton, okay, yep, I know exactly where that is.
Yeah, it's not there anymore, but the nice folks that own that are still around, and so it's just getting out there again, and so.
Ever do a music video or anything? Got anything on YouTube?
Yes, actually, I'm playing this guitar at the Lenox Hotel in Boston. If you look up my name, Ralph Rotundo, 7-string guitar, you'll
Cool.
find the set there.
Which hotel?
The Lenox Hotel.
Oh, that's one of the. That's in the higher end district.
Yes.
It's right up there with the Ritz.
Yes, right down the street from the Ritz.
Yeah, I know.
And yeah, that was a nice. That video, if you see it, but I hadn't practiced in 10 years when I played that gig, but so I'm a little more practiced now. But you'll hear, you can understand what the 7-string guitar is supposed to be as an instrument by itself. It's kind of like I said, it was something I specialized in for a long time, and now I'm playing all kinds of different stuff. So
Ever play in a band?
many bands.
Many bands,
over the
okay.
years, yep. And so yeah, it's great playing in a situation where you got a real bass player and use a pick and can play all the different sounds, all the different sounds, and full bands, big bands, different area big bands, and also lots of work down the Cape, especially in the summertime. The Cape Cod's always hopping. A lot of friends down there too, and so there you have it. Just the freelance musician life.
Yeah, I understand you're freelance mostly. That's great. How much time do you spend writing new material, new songs?
Well, I'm mostly learning songs that.
Jazz is mostly improv anyway, though, right?
Yeah. So
Okay.
yeah, when I'm playing jazz, I'm improvising, not necessarily writing the song that I'm improvising on, but so playing, and also when you're working for other folks and playing, so everybody has to know the same songs, and I don't expect to write a song and everybody magically know it. So
Okay.
so playing songs that people want to hear, like want to reminisce and remember and hear a song that brings back memories to them or something. So original songs, it's like art music. I have piles of it somewhere, that I've done over the years from time to time, and maybe I'll be doing it again sometime.
Okay.
Collaborating with different songwriters I've been talking to and stuff, and so you never know. So.
Well, it seems to me, I always try to give advice to my guests that'll help them out. You might want to start something called music therapy, where you play music to soothe people whose souls
Sure.
are kind of like on fire, like yours was.
Yeah,
I'm
music
using that
is
as an
a
analogy.
healing force.
Right, healing force,
To
right.
quote the OJ song.
Right. No, I mean, that might be an idea.
Sure,
And
yeah.
that would be a whole new angle to your music, because your music really is soothing.
Well, I find what music did for me as a kid and how it was always something I turned to, like it found me so early in life. I find that when I teach, I can tap into that and give that to people, young, old, whatever, just, and not even necessarily using the music that I like, but helping them discover what it is that they're fascinated
Okay.
with about music. You know.
As far as your students are concerned, what's the age range, roughly?
I've
Children, adult, I mean, like
right
little
now,
kids, or?
it's 5 or 6
And of course, you worked with that.
years old, 5 or 6 years old, adults. A guy, law professor at Northeastern, was a student of mine recently, and you know, professional people. Lots of IT people. We have a lot to talk about music-wise.
IP, what's that?
IT, the software engineering. Like,
Oh, okay.
Because I was a software engineer
Right,
for
right,
all those
exactly.
years. So, you know, just all different. You know, it's just that's the thing, that's you meet all different people, all different kinds of people from everywhere, and that makes it interesting too. You know.
That's absolutely right. Do you think you'll ever form another band eventually with anyone?
I'm playing an awful lot with different bands, and
Okay.
happy to
Well, when
be.
you say playing with them, you mean like opening for them, or continuing to play with them?
I work for musicians that, you know, I'm basically, somebody else is my boss.
Okay.
These different bands, and it's quite challenging to, you know, when somebody's really good and knows so many different songs, you just have to work all the time to keep up with it, and like I said, you get to play so many different kinds of music, and so it's changing things the way, you know, the way I've thought about music my whole life too, you know, so.
Okay.
So I'm still growing and learning all the time too, so.
Okay, that is great. Have you ever done anything else? Just curious, in entertainment. Have you ever done any acting, any drawing, sculpting, painting,
Just whatever you
writing,
did in school.
besides music?
Whatever you did do in school, you know, you know, everybody, you know, expresses himself in writing creatively. You know, many letters to the editors about my ordeal.
Okay.
With a lot of creativity in that, and representing myself in court.
Yep.
That was something else. 5 out of 5 not guilties, by the way.
Right.
And then a second dropped charge and one under appeal.
Okay. All right, we're going to wrap the show up now. Great job.
All right.
I hope you had a good time with me.
Sure. Yeah.
And on that note, thanks for watching Topic Time, and more great episodes to follow. Take care. Here we go. Great job.